Climate change is redefining Canada's economy, communities, and ecosystems. For decades, the debate has been framed in the public arena as jobs versus the environment. Do we save jobs or do we save the planet? But that's a false choice. What we really can and must do is both. Protecting our environment is protecting human lives, health, and employment. And this project is about proving how that's possible. Canadian unions have long understood that environmental protection and safe jobs are connected. In the 1970s and 1980s, labour organisations pushed for stronger workplace health and safety rules. They argued that if chemicals or pollutants were dangerous inside a factory, they were also dangerous outside in the community. This overlap gave rise to what we now call working-class environmentalism. That advocacy for the rights of the worker is advocacy for the protection of the environment. One recent example is Blue-Green Canada, a partnership and environmental coalition. These campaigns demonstrate that we can create good jobs and cut pollution. Through collective action, they break the outdated myth that jobs and the planet have to be in competition with each other all the time. The next step forward is something called a just transition. This means moving towards a low-carbon economy that is inclusive and equitable. Instead of abandoning employees in oil, gas or coal industries, a just transition includes worker retraining, creation of green jobs, and economic support for the hardest hit. Recent Canadian surveys show that people are far more likely to support climate policies like carbon pricing or fossil fuel phase-outs when these fairness measures are included. That is, a just transition renders the climate policy not merely plausible, but popular. It demonstrates that transformation is not merely good for the planet, but also can ensure economic security and prospects for Canadian workers and society. But we must also talk about fairness. Climate change does not affect everyone equally. Disadvantaged and working-class populations are usually the most severely affected. They are more likely to reside near dirty industries, be more prone to bad air, or have fewer resources to bounce back from floods, fires, or hot waves. That is why climate policy is about justice too. Take, for example, Vancouver's Greenest City Action Plan. It doesn't merely set emission reduction targets, it invests in sustainable infrastructure, in affordable homes, in local food systems, and in public health. By connecting the dots between the environment and social equity, cities like Vancouver demonstrate that acting on the climate can make life better for all. The supposed divide between jobs and the environment is causing us to hold back. Yet the evidence is unmistakable. According to the report of Blue-Green Canada, More Jobs, Less Pollution, Why Energy Conservation is Common Sense for Ontario, these Ontario energy conservation programs brought into being more than 25,000 jobs, while reducing greenhouse gas emissions by almost 9%. Net Zero Canada could create as many as 700,000 new energy jobs by the year 2050. These are just a few proofs that economic security and environmental protection are not rivals, but allies. The future of Canada is not about sacrificing livelihoods or the planet. It's about building both sides. This project is about rethinking the story we tell ourselves. Climate justice is not only an environmental issue, but it is also an economic and social one. With the coming together of labour activism, radical environmentalism, and policy-making by government, there can be a sustainable and equitable Canada. It's up to us. The choice is ours. Together, we can ensure that protecting the planet is also protecting people, their loved ones, and future generations. For in the end, there is no jobs versus the environment. There is only jobs and the environment. And that's how we build a more equitable and lasting future for Canada.